Hey guys, sorry I'm not there right now, but things happen. I had analyzer number 2, which was looking at different sentences in the reading and then finding the rhetorical situation behind them. So if you guys could help me out, you could write your observations on like a Google Doc or a piece of paper so it's easier for me to fill out my piece of paper. I said this was really empathetic towards the family and friends, just feeling empty in their place for Louis, because it's a reminder that Louis is the only one missing from the Zamperini family, and they're all acting as if he would just pop in anytime soon, just take the presents. So this passage, I said, felt really empathetic towards the family and friends, just us feeling empty for them. I said the audience feels sad and sort of losing hope for the Zamparinis by reminding us that Louis is the only one missing in the Zamperini family. And it would make the reunion of them more emotional since the audience knows that even the Zamparinis left something out for Louis, even in his time of being a POW, even though they're not 100% sure that he's even alive. So it would just make their reunion and coming together just have more weight to it, making it more grand than it actually is. The appeal in this one would be to fear and intimidation of the bird, but also amazement and sort of astonishment. Hillenbrand accomplishes this mainly through her word choice. She uses it to villainize and mostly intimidate the audience, to make sure that we know that he's powerful and stubborn, like a brick wall, with things like faintly cruel, but also amazement, with smartly tailored, to show that even though we should be... In this passage, I said that the appeal was fear and intimidation of the bird, but also astonishment and amazement of him. Hillenbrand mainly does this to villainize and mostly make audience know that he's a powerful and stubborn figure, like a brick wall. Like, this guy doesn't move for anything. He's scarier than anything that we've ever seen. But she also talks about sort of the beauty of him, of how he is this perfect figure in this POW camp, with words like smartly tailored, as opposed to faintly cruel. So you could see this on two different point of views, that he is scary and powerful, but also he's an amazing and sort of breathtaking guy. That really helps her purpose of making the bird such a monster, which is the title of the chapter. For this one, I said it was appealing to joy, humor, and freedom of the POWs. I think Hillenbrand accomplishes through structures of "they were soldiers again." That sentence really shows its boldness and fearlessness, and it's also really uplifting. So a lot of syntax stuff. It really humanizes the POVs after their state of, well, being basically slaves for the Japanese, and makes rooting for the POWs have way more weight to it, and helps with Hillenbrand's purpose of saying that camp is terrible, so they have to make ways to make it fun. Not really fun, but more fun than it usually is. And the reason I said joy and humor is because now we see a side of the POWs that we've never really seen before, a side that is really, well, it's funny and that they steal all the time, but also because we're always rooting for them. And this is just... And the reason I say joy and humor in this one is because we are seeing a side of them that, well, for one, is really funny, since they're stealing all of Japan's stuff. But also, since that we, the reader and the audience, have this hatred towards Japan because they captured Louis, it becomes really rewarding to see that all the POWs have been stealing for them this whole time. This is the next one, coming from page 264, where Louis' family finds out of his... well, they find out he's alive. Give you time to read it. and then you can unpause. The way that it builds suspense is first by giving us context of why this information may be important to its, well, it builds suspense as it gives context first of why this info is important, and then its significance, starting with some context about Louis and his life as a hunter, and then explaining why that is so important for the Zamperini family, which I guess makes the audience cheerful since they get the satisfaction of knowing that Louis' family knows he's alive, which is mainly the purpose of this one, to make the audience feel terribly happy for them and sort of rejoice in their favor, just knowing that Louis is alive. And this is the last, well, sentence. It comes from chapter 30, where they were talking about the bombings of Hiroshima. I'll give you time to read it. Which is one thing, but since we know that the Americans are winning, the kill all rule could be enacted at any point in time. So fear that Louis would die is very present, and the death of him is very likely. So the purpose of talking about the bombing of Hiroshima is to show that Louis is in a potentially... The other point of view of it is fear that Louis will die, because since we know that Japan is losing and the Americans are closing in, the kill all rule could be enacted at any moment, where him and many of his other friends in the camp will just die out of nothing. So fear that Louis would die is present and very likely. And the purpose of this entire sentence is to show that Louis is in potential danger with the Americans winning and taking the lead in the Pacific War. Hopefully you guys took notes on a separate piece of paper or a Google Doc so I can take a look at it and see your guys' observations. But that's about it. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.